How's it? It's SportsCenter from Los Angeles. He's Stan. I'm Neil. Dr. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, was born in Canada. So it's about time the NBA Finals were played there.
Yeah, Steph Curry's been there before, not in Canada. But there's a twist this time. The Warriors starting on the road for the first time in their 5 finals trips. Kawhi Leonard has won it all before in San Antonio, but he leads the Raptors into their first trip to the NBA Finals. Those who couldn't get the toughest ticket in Toronto, well, they got hyped outside in Jurassic Park. T.O., baby. Let's get it on. Warriors looking for a 3rd straight title, 4th in 5 years. Raptors, the first Eastern Conference team without LeBron James to make the finals in 9 years. First finals game outside the United States. Steph Curry trying to get free up top. Marc Gasol playing good defense, and Curry can't hit it. Later in the first quarter, Kyle Lowry says, give me that. Raptors running on the other end. Marc Gasol going to take that jumper and knock it down. Warriors held to just 21 points in the first quarter, fewest in the finals game for the Warriors since 2016, down 4 after 1. So how did the Raptors do on the offensive end? Kawhi Leonard double-teamed up top, gives it up to Gasol, to Fred VanVleet. VanVleet with 15 off the bench for Toronto. Second quarter, Leonard draws 4 defenders, kicks it out to VanVleet, who's lonely out there. The Raptors 13 for 33 from 3 as a team. Gasol, turnaround jumper, that'll work. He had 20 points. Gasol and VanVleet combined for 21 points in the first half. Raptors up by 10 at the half. Now, teams lead by double digits at the half, and the finals have gone on to win 12 straight since then. Third quarter, Pascal Siakam got hot, working on Draymond Green and getting the best of him. Raptors up by 10. Siakam going to get free on the baseline. Green late on the rotation. 2 for 2. Siakam keeps the hot hand. In transition, the layup will go. 3 for 3 from the floor during this run. More Siakam. Raptors up by 8. Raptors on the fast break. Leonard to Siakam. Siakam 5 for 5 under 5 minutes in the third. Raptors by 9. Good defense, forces the miss. And the Raptors are off and running again. And at the other end, it's Siakam going around Green. Siakam with 26 points on 11 of 13 shooting through 3 quarters. His NBA Finals debut, and Cameroon is in the house for real. So here we go in the fourth. Raptors up by 7. The Warriors kept making runs or mini runs to keep Toronto within scoring range of them, but Siakam just wouldn't let him get close enough. Made 11 straight shots, longest streak in the last 20 NBA Finals. Raptors up by 8 now. Leonard nails a 3-pointer over Kevon Looney. Leonard with 23 points, but he played a supporting role scoring-wise with Siakam doing what he was doing. Just over a minute to go in the game. Raptors trying to close it out. They're going crazy in Jurassic Park. Siakam, no sir, gets his own rebound and puts in the tip-in. Finished with 32 points. Draymond Green with a triple-double. A little chat with Drake after it was over, but the Raptors find true north in Game 1. They take it 118 to 109. First loss for the Warriors in a Game 1 under Steve Kerr. So the Raptors now with 5 straight wins in these playoffs, the longest postseason win streak in franchise history. It matches that streak. Their starting front court outscored the Warriors 75-18. It's their 5th series trailing under Steve Kerr for Golden State, but they came back to win the previous 4. But history, on another note, says advantage Toronto. The winner of Game 1 of the NBA Finals has gone on to win the series 71% of the time. Game 2 on Sunday.
Had someone told you that in your very first NBA Finals game you'd put up 32 points, what would you have said to that person?
Probably that it was crazy. At that time, I don't even know if I really dreamed of, being at this level. I couldn't even think about this moment because, it wasn't reachable for me. But I think once I got to the point where I felt like I had a chance, I put everything, forward, and I just worked really hard.
He was extremely hardworking, like beyond. I mean, just super committed to finding a place in this league and improving his game. But I've heard a lot of people or him say some things this year, and they keep saying, "Are you surprised?" And he keeps saying, "No, this is what I've always envisioned for myself." So I think that's a powerful statement he makes as well. He believes in himself, and he went to work at it.
All right, the Raptors snapped the Warriors' 12-game winning streak in Game 1s of a playoff series. That had been the longest such streak in NBA history. First time Golden State has lost Game 1 of the finals under Steve Kerr. Warriors kept Kawhi Leonard in check. He was 5-14, but Pascal Siakam and the supporting cast stepped up, scored 95 points on 54% shooting. And Golden State lost to Draymond Green, posting a triple-double. He also did have 6 turnovers. Warriors 29-2 when Green has a triple-double. Both losses coming this postseason.
Siakam obviously had the game of his playoff life. Give him credit, running the floor. So we'll have to get back on defense next game and really limit their transition points, make them beat us in the half court.
What did Pascal Siakam do to give you guys so much trouble tonight?
I think he played an amazing game, obviously, but he got out in transition. A lot of our transition D was horrible, and I let him get in the rhythm in the first half, first quarter really. So I got to do a better job of taking his rhythm away, and I will. But he had a great game, but that's on me.
Wasn't our best night, but we just got outplayed. So simple as that. Move on to the next one.
And obviously the Bears, we were down 0-1, but it's not the end of the world. New experiences for us all the way through, but we've proven our resiliency and ability to win games that we need to, and kind of answer the bell and learn from nights like tonight.
Yeah, there's your final score. Toronto 118-109. Beats the Warriors in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, something that never happened in a Game 1 of a Finals for the Warriors under Steve Kerr. We heard Michael Wilbon earlier talk about that Raptors defense was really something that stood out to him. Marc Gasol, former NBA Defensive Player of the Year. Well, listen, he's a big man to get around. Got it done right there. He's no longer walking in Memphis. Instead, he's causing problems in Toronto for the Warriors as a Raptor. Steph Curry can't get around him. Right here, he comes right up and doubles him, and he got all ball right there. That led to a jump ball, which was an easy win for Gasol and the Raptors when they toss that jump ball up. Curry using a screen. Gasol runs him out of the lane right there over to Iguodala. Gasol comes over, and then Jordan Bell. Take that back to Eugene from Gasol right there. In the fourth quarter, Warriors trying to make a comeback. Gasol would eventually foul out, but he was a disturbance when he was in there. And Siakam, everybody talks about his points, but he too was a defensive presence. Warriors finished the game shooting 10 for 44. That's 23% on contested field goals, and they win it. Let's bring in Nick Friedell. And Nick, the theme of your Warriors reporting this season and this postseason has been when they've faced adversity, they're like, what's there to worry about? Well, they haven't ever faced the adversity of losing a Game 1 of the NBA Finals since you've been covering them. So how did they handle that afterwards?
Neil, no panic at all. It was almost stunning for a group that has ridden this emotional roller coaster all year, and you're not sure sometimes what's going to appear after these games. Steph Curry, Draymond, they kind of laughed it off. They know they got outplayed by Toronto. They respect the way the Raptors play, and they know they've got to play better defense. But this group has won so often that there is no panic whatsoever. They are completely confident. Klay Thompson said, we're champions. We're champions for a reason. We're going to bounce back like champions. They are totally confident that in Game 2, they'll make their adjustments, and they'll get back to the way that we've seen them play over the last few weeks here.
All right, give me an injury report on Iguodala, Cousins, and Durant.
Okay, let's start with Iguodala. He was limping a little bit after the game, but he seemed to be fine. Steve Kerr wasn't worried. He's going to get checked out again tomorrow, but they expect him to be out there in Game 2. DeMarcus Cousins, Neil, just isn't moving real well still. Steve Kerr was pleased that he had some minutes, but it was not what you wanted to see with any consistency. So he's going to get a few more minutes in Game 2, but you just can't expect much because he hasn't done much. As far as Durant goes, everybody was trying to get Steph Curry, Steve Kerr to bite on, it'd be easier if Kevin Durant were out there. The reality is he's not going to be out there in Game 2. It may be a stretch right now to think about Game 3. He hasn't been cleared for contact. He hasn't been able to do much. They're taking it day by day, but they haven't ruled him officially out for Game 2. Nobody in that locker room, Neil, expects him to play on Sunday, though.
Game 2 Sunday, Nick Friedell, living the dream. All right, here we got coming up Rachel Nichols with more on Pascal Siakam. Stephen A. Smith, his take, and Tim Legler in the lab. And remember, long hair must be tied back to avoid catching fire.
It was a game of X factors, and obviously the Toronto Raptors had it at their disposal. Look at what transpired. Pascal Siakam, your secondary option, drops 32 points, hitting 14 of his 18 shots. Marc Gasol, a big boy, was somebody they went to. He finished with 20 points and 6 of 10 shooting. Fred VanVleet comes off the bench. He drops 15 points. And how do the Golden State Warriors answer? With little to nothing. Klay Thompson didn't have the most stellar game in the world, even though he made a contribution. Andre Iguodala, I don't know if I've ever seen him look worse shooting the basketball. He was no threat whatsoever offensively. You really had nobody but the Golden State Warriors who stepped up. So when the Golden State Warriors doubled Kawhi Leonard, he had help. When Toronto doubled Steph Curry, he had no help. That was the difference in Game 1 of this series. If that continues, all this talk of a three-peat involving the Golden State Warriors will go right out the window. They better get their act together fast.
Oh, Canada. If somebody told you the Raptors would get just 5 buckets from Kawhi Leonard, you'd think, hey, Warriors win easy. But no, Pascal Siakam with his finals debut in a big way. We got Tim Legler dropping science in the lab.
Well, Stan, there was a whole lot of talk after the game on the part of the Warriors in terms of their transition defense and giving up too much to the Toronto Raptors. And I thought that was right on point because to me, that was the biggest thing that I noticed in watching the game was the initial surge up the floor on the part of the Raptors. They really took advantage of some lax Golden State defense in transition, and I'll show you how they were able to get it done. And I thought their commitment to this was a big difference maker for them. It starts here, and anytime you get a guy going down offensively on a drive, put yourself in a tough spot. But Golden State gets back, and they're in really good shape because the ball is being advanced here by Kawhi Leonard, and this is where the miscommunication, and maybe the rust plays into this, but looks like right here, Andre Iguodala should be picking up the ball. You see Klay Thompson, he's waiting on Kyle Lowry, so now he's going to bump out there, or he should bump out there. And then you got a third guy over here, Pascal Siakam in the corner, but Draymond Green would slide over there if the ball ended up there. All of this means Kevon Looney needs to be sprinting back to the rim. And I'll show you why that's important in a second because there's going to be someone else running right into that area. And if they matched up that way, you're in good shape. But instead, here's what happens. Looney lingers, so now, for all intents and purposes, he has Kawhi Leonard. That bumps out Andre Iguodala here, and it leaves Klay Thompson really in no man's land with no one to guard. Siakam clears out. Draymond has to be aware of where he is. And here's that guy I was talking about, 7-foot Marc Gasol running right down the lane, and it's a very simple pass to the middle, and they take care of 2 easy points, really because Golden State doesn't communicate well once they get back. To me, this is an even better example. Good defense contesting the 3 by Curry. Stop it right here, because anytime a guy has the basketball and there are 9 players ahead of him, you shouldn't get something this easy. But again, it's a miscommunication on the part of the Warriors and a great job taking advantage on the part of the Toronto Raptors. Klay Thompson back on defense. He's going to match up over here. That's what he's looking at. Now you got Fred VanVleet running up. Steph Curry knows that's going to be his. And all this means that Sean Livingston is in no man's land. Right now, he should be sprinting over here so he can stop the basketball, and that would allow Draymond Green to pick up Danny Green. But instead, you'll see what happens. Nobody comes over to stop ball, and eventually Draymond Green has to play 2 people, and of course he's going to stop the basketball first, and all that leads to a very simple pitch, catch, and 3 for Danny Green on a play in which you should have been back in time. So give the Raptors credit. I thought they outplayed Golden State in every phase of the game, and nothing more glaring than the way they beat them up the floor with their early offense.
All right, so how much have things changed for the odds makers? Well, not much. The Raptors won all 3 meetings with the Warriors this season now. Kevin Durant's availability in doubt. But still, the Warriors are favored to win this series over the Raptors, even after game one. In transition, Raptors were able to take advantage of turnovers and missed buckets all game thanks to Siakam's play in transition. He was 5 of 5 from the floor in transition. Draymond Green did his best to try to keep up with him. But here's Green on Siakam's transition buckets.
He played an amazing game, obviously, but, you know, he got out in transition. A lot of our transition D was horrible, and I let him get in the rhythm.
Siakam matched up on Green throughout game one. Green had no answer for Siakam. Siakam 5 for 8 against Green. Siakam's most makes against any Warriors defender. And remember, this is no ordinary defender. This is Draymond Green. But it wasn't only Green that Siakam was able to take advantage of, also able to knock down shots even with a hand in his face from whoever. 9 of 12 on contested shots. Warriors shot just 10 for 44 as a team on contested shots. Here's Steph Curry on Siakam's breakout performance.
You know, obviously Pascal had an amazing game. He pretty much found a bucket wherever he was at, and we got to do, all 5 guys got to do a better job of just being physical, being alert, and we'll be all right.
Siakam 32 on 14 of 17 shooting. I'd say that qualifies as a podium game. Pass the mic.
For me, like I always say, man, it's bigger than basketball, and every night that I go out there, I have a bigger purpose, and I play for something bigger than this basketball, and I think that's what makes it special. That every night I'm out there, you know, no matter the result, no matter how many points I score, you know, I'm playing for something bigger than myself.
He does a great job of attacking those gaps, using his body, attacking the angles that the defense is giving you. He can go both ways. I just like when he plays that aggressive.
You know, you got to take your hat off to him. Regardless of this game, you still have to take your hat off to him, even before this game, of what he's been able to accomplish this year. You know, he's become a guy. And so, you know, you got to, he put a lot of work in to get there. And I respect that. But like I said, I got to take him out of this series, and that's on me.
Hey, the Warriors didn't win 3 of the last 4 titles without making adjustments. Let's see what they do. Game 2 of the NBA Finals, Sunday on ABC and the ESPN app, with the Raptors up a game. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.